The empty elevator. Our building doesn't have a 13th floor. It's a small superstition dressed up as a corporate decision. The buttons go 12, then 14. The directory in the lobby skips the number. The floor plans never mention it. Everyone jokes about it. Everyone forgets it. Until the night the elevator displayed 13 anyway. I was the last one in the office because I always am. Not because I'm noble. Because my work never ends cleanly. Because if I leave an issue unresolved, I'll think about it in bed. Because I've learned that an extra hour of fixing things now saves me 3 hours of explaining them later. That night, the office was quiet in the way an office is only quiet after midnight. The air conditioning hummed. The vending machine clicked occasionally, like a sleepy animal. The lights above the empty desks were dimmed, but not off. My email inbox had been a mess all day. A client, a deadline, a chain of follow-up messages that felt like being pecked by birds. At 12:47 a.m., I finally shut my laptop. I stood up, stretched, and felt that little wave of relief that comes with being done, even temporarily. In the reflection of the dark monitor, I saw my own face look tired. I grabbed my bag and walked to the elevator lobby. The hallway on our floor is long and straight. On the right, glass meeting rooms with taped-up whiteboards. On the left, a wall of framed posters about teamwork and innovation. At night, the posters look sarcastic. The elevator lobby is at the far end. 2 elevators. Same metal doors. Same silent floor indicator. I pressed the down button. It lit up. I waited. The number above the left elevator showed 14. Then 12. Then 9. Moving downward. Normal. Then it stopped at 13. I blinked. The indicator showed 13 in a clean digital font. The doors didn't open. I told myself it was a display glitch. Maybe it was between floors and showing nonsense. Maybe a maintenance mode. Maybe an electrical hiccup. The right elevator indicator continued moving. 16, 15, 14. The left stayed on 13 like it was stuck. The down button light turned off. Then on again, as if someone else had pressed it. But I was alone. I checked the lobby. The office floor was empty. No footsteps. No voices. No movement behind glass. The left elevator dinged softly. Its doors opened. Inside, the elevator was dark. Not dim. Not lights off. Dark as in. The interior looked deeper than the size of the elevator should allow, like someone had opened a door into a hallway that went back forever. I stood still, trying to convince my brain that it was a lighting issue. That if I stepped in, the motion sensor would turn the lights on. I stepped forward and peered into the gap. The usual elevator mirror on the back wall wasn't there. The handrail wasn't there. No buttons. Just black. A faint smell drifted out, like cold dust and old carpet. My phone buzzed. A calendar reminder. I hadn't set any reminders for midnight. Title: 13. Time: 12:48 a.m. Location: elevator. I stared at it, the way you stare at something that can't be real. My thumb hovered, ready to dismiss the reminder. Then the elevator made a sound. Not a ding, not a mechanical hum, a soft throat-clearing sound. Like a person trying to get your attention politely without startling you. I froze. My brain scrambled for explanations. Someone inside? A speaker malfunction? A prank? I took a step back. The darkness inside the elevator seemed to shift slightly, as if it responded. My phone buzzed again. New reminder. Title: Don't Take the Stairs. I laughed once, a short, sharp sound that didn't match the situation. I'm not superstitious. I'm not easily scared. I troubleshoot for a living. When things don't make sense, I assume I'm missing a variable, not that reality has cracked open. But my body didn't agree. My palms were sweaty. The hair on my arms lifted. My heartbeat was loud in my ears. I glanced toward the stairwell door at the end of the lobby. It was a plain gray door with an exit sign above it. The exit sign flickered, once, twice, then it steadied. A childish part of my brain whispered, "It wants you to choose." I looked back at the open elevator. The indicator still read 13. The darkness inside waited. My phone buzzed again. Down. Just that. No sender. No app icon. Like a system-level instruction. I stepped back from the elevator and walked toward the stairs. I told myself, even if this is a prank, the stairs are safe. Stairs don't trap you. Stairs don't close around you. I pushed the stairwell door. It opened with a familiar squeak. The stairwell was lit by fluorescent lights, harsh and honest. Concrete steps. Metal handrails. No drama. I exhaled, and then I noticed something. On the wall by the first landing, there was a floor label sign. It should have said, 14, for our floor. It said, 13. I stared. It was the same style as the other floor labels. Same font. Same metal plate. Not a sticky note. Not tape. Not a prank sign. A real building sign that insisted I was standing on 13. I swallowed. My throat felt tight. I looked down the stairwell. The steps spiraled downward in a tight square. The next landing sign said 12. Normal. I looked up. The next landing sign above me said 14. Normal. Only mine said 13. I backed out of the stairwell slowly, as if the air in there could reach out and grab me. The elevator doors were still open. The darkness inside seemed closer now, like it had leaned forward. My phone buzzed again. Good. I stood still. I didn't want to look at the phone, but I did anyway. Another message. It can't take you if you don't enter. My hands shook. I typed into my notes app just to feel like I was doing something rational. Elevator shows 13. Stairs show 13. Possibly prank. Possibly maintenance glitch. Leave building. I wrote it like an incident report. Then I realized something else. The building lobby directory always skips 13. Always. But if I took the elevator down to the ground floor, I'd pass through 13 in the elevator shaft anyway. Just because the buttons don't show it doesn't mean the space doesn't exist. We just pretend it doesn't. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe ignoring a place doesn't erase it. Maybe it only makes it hungrier. The elevator made that soft throat clearing sound again. This time, it sounded amused. My phone buzzed again. Ask it where it is. I didn't want to, but my brain, my stubborn troubleshooting brain, wanted a clear answer. I stepped closer to the elevator opening, but not inside. I leaned forward just enough for my voice to carry into the darkness. Where are you? My voice sounded too loud in the empty hallway. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, from inside the black, a voice answered. Not loud, not echoing, just close. My floor. It sounded like a man, middle-aged, calm. The kind of voice you'd hear from a security guard late at night. I swallowed. Which floor is that? A pause. Then, the one you erased. My stomach clenched. My phone buzzed. Don't say the number. My mouth went dry. I stared into the darkness. Why? I whispered. The voice replied, gentle. Because naming it is pressing the button. The elevator doors twitched, like they wanted to close. I stepped back. The doors stopped. My phone buzzed again. You're doing well. I laughed again, this time not from humor but from a thin, fraying panic. I backed away from the elevator lobby and walked down the hallway toward the office area, as if distance alone could help. The overhead lights dimmed slightly as I moved, motion sensors reacting. Behind me, the elevator dinged. The doors closed. I stopped and looked back. The floor indicator above the elevator changed. 14, then 12, then 9, as if nothing had happened. I exhaled, shaky. Maybe it was over. I walked back to my desk and sat down, trying to calm my breathing. I opened my laptop again. Bright screen. Normal emails. Then a new email arrived. Subject. 13. From. Blank. Body. You left the door open. I stared. I hadn't sent anything. I hadn't opened any door except the stairwell. I stood up slowly and looked around the office. The glass meeting rooms reflected my movement. The posters watched silently. Everything felt normal. Until I reached the elevator lobby again. The down button was lit, as if someone had pressed it. But I hadn't. The floor indicator above the left elevator read 13. The doors were closed this time. No darkness visible, just metal. My phone buzzed. It learned you come back. The elevator dinged. The doors opened. And this time, the interior light was on. A perfectly normal elevator car. Mirror on the back wall. Handrail. Buttons. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. Then I saw the button panel. There was a 13 button. Bright and clean, like it had always been there. I stared at it, stunned. My phone buzzed again. Press it. I didn't. I stepped back. The elevator doors stayed open. The interior light flickered slightly, like a patient smile. My phone buzzed again. This is the floor you skipped. Then, quietly, another message. If you don't press it, you'll have to take it anyway. I backed away until I hit the wall. My brain raced. What does that mean? Take it anyway? How? The elevator voice spoke again, the calm security guard voice. Everybody rides past it. I swallowed. Then the elevator's interior light went off. And the darkness returned, pouring forward like ink. The doors began to close. At the last second, something pale and thin appeared in the gap, just a shape, just an impression, like a hand reaching out. Not grabbing, not waving, pointing. At me. The doors shut with a soft click. The floor indicator above the elevator changed. 14, then 13, then 12, then 11. Normal descent, but as it passed 13, the indicator held for a fraction longer, like a blink. My phone buzzed one final time. Last ride. I ran. I didn't take the stairs. I didn't take the elevator. I ran down the emergency ramp for the parking levels, breath burning, legs shaking. When I reached the ground floor lobby, I expected the building to feel safe. But the lobby directory was different. Between 12 and 14, a new line had appeared. 13, no department, just a blank entry, as if the building had finally admitted it existed. I didn't work late again after that. But sometimes, when I pass a mirrored elevator door at night, I see the reflection of a floor indicator behind me. Always the same, 13, and behind the number, in the dark, a patient shape waiting for someone to press the button.